my name is Rachel Dorsey and thanks for stopping by. Today we are going to start a new series that I'm going to be calling For the Girls. Although the title obviously suggests that it's for women to watch, this video can really be watched and enjoyed, and the advice can be taken by anyone. That's just what I wanted to go with. Because I am a girl, I feel like this is going to be the most relatable by other girls. But this series is going to be all about dating and all about navigating life as a woman dealing with men. So today's video is going to be about seeing dating in a slightly non-traditional way, I guess we can say. And this is something that I came up with because my dating life had not been going the best. I came up with this idea when I was reflecting on my dating life and all the mistakes that I have made during that time of dealing with men who I was trying to have a romantic relationship with. And I realized that my main issue was that I didn't have a lot of boundaries, and everything that was an inconvenience to me, I was like, oh, it's fine. I was trying to be like this laid back person, and while you can be laid back and have boundaries, I wasn't balancing the two. So I was like, okay, how can I look at dating in a way that is going to make sense to me, is going to be something that I'm good at, and is still going to keep me like this fun, laid back person who I would want to be around. So this kind of got my little model of dating started. So I'm going to tell you about 3 concepts that are typically used in business to be a successful business person, but being applied to dating. So I still want to say that even though like I'm preaching these, I'm not like looking at relationships as a non-genuine thing anymore. Like obviously whenever I'm getting to know someone, I still want it to be a super authentic way, but this is going to help keep me a little more structured when it comes to dealing with people who aren't really giving me what I need, because I want to be someone who does have high standards for my partner, and I would expect them to have the same for me. And I do have a degree in business administration. I got it through studying marketing and fashion merchandise at West Virginia University. I graduated this past December, so I do feel like I have the credentials to be talking about this. Okay, so the first principle I want to talk about is sunk cost. So sunk cost is a cost that you incur during some type of business transaction that cannot be made up for in the future, no matter what you try. Like, it's a cost that's gone, you're not getting it back, you just have to cut the losses and move on. So I started thinking about this because I was like, whenever I'm in a relationship that I know isn't giving me what I need, I think about all the time, maybe all the money, all of the energy, whatever it is that I invested into this relationship. And so it makes me want to continue on with this person despite the fact that I know they're not right for me, they're not treating me right, and I'm really not getting much out of this relationship other than the fact that I have an attachment to them and I've invested things into them, and I'm trying to stick with them as long as I can so that hopefully I can get some of that investment back. But I really know it's never coming, it's just getting worse and worse or staying the same, and I'm not getting that investment back. So the way I'm seeing it is, that's my sunk cost, right? All the time, energy, love, whatever I've invested into this person is my sunk cost. And I know that no matter how long I stay with this person, it's not coming back. I'm not going to eventually receive the same amount of love and consideration that I gave them. And I'm talking about when you're in a relationship that's like, you just know it's never going anywhere. Sometimes relationships start out a little rocky and eventually things turn wonderful, but sometimes they just don't, and you know deep down in your heart, and even though you don't want to let go of it, you need to. So the longer that you spend with this person who is not giving you anything and is not going to give you anything, your sunk cost just keeps growing and growing and growing. And so when you finally do have to make that cut, your sunk costs could have been this big whenever you first realized that this relationship was not going anywhere. But now it's this big because you waited and waited and waited and kept investing more and more and more. So whenever you realize, you know, this person is not for me as much as I like them, as much as I have an attachment to them, it's not right. It's not right for me. There's someone out there who could be returning what I'm giving, and we could be matching on that. Or I can stay with this person who doesn't treat me right, is just soaking up my energy, my time, everything that I'm just willingly giving them and still not treating me right. So when you recognize that, despite the fact that you've put all of this into them, cut your losses before your sunk cost starts multiplying, and then when you finally do walk away, you feel absolutely horrible. Because trust me, it's going to be way easier to recover from a shorter relationship with less invested in it than it is going to be from a relationship that went months, even years, and you got nothing out of it and you invested so much into. So analyze your sunk cost and get out before that sunk cost becomes something that you can't afford to lose. The second principle that I want to talk about today is finding customers who value what you value. So a big marketing principle is that you only want to do business with people who value what you value. Because if you try and sell a product to or do business with someone who does not value what you value or what you're selling, it's not going to work out, because you may have the best product in the entire world or best service in the entire world, but if the person that you're selling it to doesn't see that value and it is not of value to them, there's no reason to do that business transaction, because more than likely they're going to be upset because your product did not bring them this magnificent value that you swore it was going to, and they're going to want a refund or they're going to want some type of compensation to make up for that. And this principle kind of flipped over to dating is, why would you want to be with someone who didn't value you the way that you know you deserve to be valued? And there are going to be people who will get to know you, they'll spend time with you, and they're still not going to recognize your value. And you should not keep trying to sell yourself to them, because at the end of the day, they just don't value what you value, which is yourself. And yeah, that sucks sometimes, and sometimes in business and in dating, you think that you can convince this person that this is the greatest thing in the entire world, but at the end of the day, it's just not gonna work. And sometimes we think that, oh my gosh, like this is my last lead, this is the last person that I can make this sale to, and if I don't do this sale, the world's gonna come crumbling down. And I think sometimes we feel that way in dating, like, am I really gonna meet another person that makes me feel this way? And in the moment, I think we're like really inclined to say like it's highly unlikely. But in my dating life, every time I've lost a man that I was like, I'm never gonna find someone like him, the next man rolls around and he is like just as great as the past guy, if not better. So I promise you're not on your last sale. This sale is not gonna make or break your life. Do not try to convince someone that you are super worth it if they can't see that from the start. And last but not least, this is not an idea that I came up with on my own. I actually watched, I think, a TikTok on it, but it's pretty much what I like to call the hiring process. So, you know, whenever you're out there, maybe you have a little roster going and you're trying to figure out like which man is the best for me, and you're not really getting what you need from everyone. Or maybe there's just one person, maybe it's someone that you're like rooting for the most, maybe they're in your number one spot, but you need to look at it as if they were a company hiring you. So let's say, for example, you get an interview, right? And it's with this company that you really want to work for. And they're like, you know what? We think you are fantastic. We want to offer you this job, but, you know, we've decided that we might not pay you your salary every 2 weeks. We might skip a couple weeks if we feel like it. Sometimes we might close down the office and not tell you, and then we're going to leave it up to you to figure out when you should come in again. And we're also going to be looking for other people to replace you with no notice whatsoever. So one morning you might come in and someone else is going to be sitting at your desk, and we've actually already thrown out all of your stuff. We didn't even put it in a box for you. And like, that's so dramatic, right? Like, no one's gonna work for a company who would ever say that to them. So why would you do that in dating? But if you look at it in the way of a man who is going to be shopping for other women, is going to ghost you and never talk to you again, and is going to have a replacement for you the next evening and not even tell you that he was talking to other girls, a man who is going to maybe not talk to you for a few days and then maybe hit you up and act like nothing ever happened and make you play this whole guessing game with him, don't date him. It's the exact same thing as that hiring process with a company. If they're not going to value you as an employee, with all the amazing things that you have to offer and realize that they should do everything in their power to keep you, then don't do the same thing with a man. Because there are going to be companies out there who recognize your worth and recognize your value and realize that you're an amazing person to have on their team and that they should do everything to keep you around. And you should be treated the same way in your relationships. Because I promise you, there's going to be someone out there who thinks that you are just God's gift to this earth and you are the greatest thing they have ever found, and they're going to do everything in their power to not mess that up. You can tell that I'm stressed out because I have these little red splotches on my chest. I don't know why I'm stressed out, but I guess this topic is just stressing me out. I'm also stressed because I want to go thrifting and the hours of the day are just like ticking and ticking by. I had a lot to do. It's my last day of my weekend. So these are my 3 little principles that now I'm going to be applying to my dating life. I haven't actually put these into practice yet, but I am excited to see how they might impact my relationships. I think it's going to be really positive. Like I said, I'm not going to be like psycho about it. I feel like when you look at this in black and white, it's like, oh my god, this girl is crazy. But I'm just going to use these as new ways to think about the relationships that I'm in, and when they're not giving what I need, how I can analyze if I'm making a smart choice or not in cutting off these people who aren't respecting my time and my energy. I feel like there are going to be some men who I've been chatting with watching this. I know that in the past, like my last video, there were some men that I have been talking to that watched that video, which I think is funny. But hello. This video might make me even more single than I already am, but whatever. I'm good on my own, you know? But yeah, that's pretty much all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you hit that big red subscribe button as well as the notification bell so that you never miss one of my videos. I hope this video brought some perspective into your life and some value. But thank you guys so much for being here. And other than that, I'll see you next time. Bye. Valuing because oh, that's my dishwasher. Like, what the heck? And what are you doing? If you tear down my curtains, I'm not gonna be happy. Look, she's gonna try to get in the window. She made it.